big happy birthday to XDC, guys. This is going to be a great video. 7 trillion in savings is what countries, G7 countries, are looking at when switching from a paper shipping system to a digital system. And we're going to talk about that in today's video and why XDC is my second choice behind XRP as one of my top tokens and my top holdings. Thank you so much, guys. If you like crypto, if you want to stay up on digital assets, especially utility, interoperability, think about subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment. If you like anything that you see, please feel free to share it with somebody you know. Without further ado, let's get into it, guys. XDC, this is from a couple days ago, last week. XDC soars 25% with it celebrates its 4th anniversary. I've been in XDC since 2019 and I'm a very happy holder. XDC is by far one of my second favorite projects, and we're going to get into that why. All right, so let me show you this. This is from Darren Lewis Jr. Please give Darren Lewis Jr. a follow. Posts a lot of really incredible information, and I really appreciate all the stuff that he does. So XDC, the File Act, okay? NGO's combination offers the most pragmatic solution to address trade document probability at a global level. The combined use of NGO's Trace, Original, and Swift's File Act fills the gap in trade documentation. So when you're shipping things, let me show you how many parties are involved, right? So when you're shipping stuff across the oceans or whatever, there is so many different parties that are involved in this whole situation. And there's usually 27 to 40 different pieces of paper that are involved in shipping just one container. So you have the exporter, you have the importer, you have the freight forwarder, you have the customs agents, you have the shipping company, you have the shipping agents, consolidator, the carrier, the insurance, the banks. And this is on both sides, remember, right? As well as once the goods get to the country and you need to pay for those goods, sometimes, especially if you're using the correspondent banking system, that can add another 3, 5, even 7 days or longer that your goods sit on the dock and you can't get them because that money hasn't gone through yet. So what XDC is trying to do here is they're trying to build out different use cases for TradeFi, traditional finance, as well as the shipping area, the shipping lane. No. Anyways, let me just move on. It's been a long day. All this content, and you want to really take your learning experience and supercharge it. Think about becoming a Cryptonaires member. I will take your crypto knowledge and I will 10x it. It's what I do every day. I focus, I really pay attention to what's being used globally, and we talk about this and I show you the proof. I bring you the information so you can make a better educated decision on what you want to do with your life, right? I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who loves crypto and I love sharing it with you. Please like and share with somebody you know. This is a minister of the Commonwealth and talking about digital trade, and listen to how much money countries are going to be able to save from just moving from a paper system to a digital system. And these laws go back to 1882. That is the laws that we are using right now for shipping. Back to 1882. That is old. All right, let me play this for you.
The case right now that all international trade documents have to be in physical paper form, isn't it?
All the commercial trade documents currently, with the exception of 7 countries, have to be on paper, and that's part of the problem, of course, when we're trying to modernize the trading system. This is ultimately all about making sure that the trading system is fit for purpose for the 21st century, and of course that means going digital. We're just inheriting a system that was set up 100 years ago that of course revolves around paper. The laws we use actually go back to 1882 to give you an idea. So of course we need to reform laws, remove all the legal barriers and enable the whole system to go paperless.
Although there are some countries that I think France, Germany and indeed here in the UK, we are moving towards a paperless trade.
Yeah, there's been tremendous progress over the last 3 years. It's quite extraordinary really. The UK actually started the process, so the British government with the G7 ministerial commitment to remove legal barriers. So this year we'll see France, Germany, Japan, US and UK all remove legal barriers.
So it's pretty much like the G7, a lot of these countries. When you digitize these trade documents, not only do you make it easier for goods to flow, but let's say this, let's say you do a shipping container a month, right? You're sending out goods, right? And the goods sit there for 3 days. Let's just use 3 to 5 days, okay? Every month you send that same container, it sits there for 3 to 5 days. So after 12 months, you lose what, 36, minimum 36 to maybe 45 days. That's an additional month to a month and a half that you lose and your goods just sit on the dock. Think of if everything is digital and you can use the XDC token to settle that trade, right? As soon as the goods hit the dock. You can then go pick up the shipping container, you could start selling your goods, and then you can do more business in a year. And that is not only going to help everybody globally, but not only it puts everyone in the same system so you don't have all this extra paper being wasted. I think they were talking about how much paper goes into this. If you were to take the Khalifa building in Dubai, and I think it's like 3 to 5 of them stacked on top of each other is how much paper you need for this entire system. Millions upon millions, if not billions of documents per year. So think of all the trees we can save, all the wasted ink, as well as the time we can save by moving to this new system.
By the end of the year.
So what's going to be the obstacles towards rolling this out across the Commonwealth?
Well, the biggest obstacle is capacity in a network like the Commonwealth, and that's pretty much the same worldwide. Every country is starting at a slightly different point. Some are more advanced with infrastructure in place, others less, and quite often there's not enough legal capacity. So this is about all of us working together now, the private sector and governments, to make this happen, because we have the resources to do it. We just need to work together. We know what the problems are.
How much do you reckon this is costing businesses around the world, this insistence on physical paper?
Oh, it's enormous, absolutely enormous. I think if you look at it in reverse in terms of the benefits, that gives you a good idea. Across the Commonwealth alone, it's 1.1 trillion we're talking about in terms of trade growth.
1.1 trillion across the Commonwealth per year in trade growth. That is a lot of money, guys, a lot of money. And then listen to what he says for the big, not just the Commonwealth, but also the G7.
In the UK, it's 224 billion in efficiency savings and 25 billion in
sterling or
trade
dollars?
In the Commonwealth, dollars.
Yeah.
Across the G7, that's 7 trillion, sorry, it's huge. And that's the inefficiency in the system. Everyone always asks.
$7 trillion between G7 countries. My question is, how much would everybody save globally if everybody was on a system like this? And if everybody was on a system like this, or let's just say the G7, what does that do to the XDC token? Because all of this freight, all of this value now is going to be digitized, right? And it's going to be paid for, right? So you're bringing basically everything from the old world, laws from 1882, you're updating them to this new digital ecosystem. And now all of this stuff is going to take place majorly on the XDC network. I'm sure there's going to be some other winners in the space, but NGO and there's several other things that are working with Xinfin that is really going to propel them to the front of the line for this. Xinfin is the #1 project working on this whole mess of trade finance and really getting it to a place where countries can send goods back to people, shippers, whatever, and send goods back and forth, and it doesn't take that much time.
Ask me why the number's so big. It's because we're working on a very antiquated a set of processes, and it's just about leaping into the 21st century and using technology in a smarter way.
And I gather on a lot of transactions, there can be as many as 40 physical pieces of paper flying around at any...
Oh, it's unbelievable. I don't think people outside trade realise how antiquated it is. It's extraordinary. It can take up to 2 to 3 months to transact. You could be dealing with 40 different paper documents, and those are dealt with manually in the main. It's all manual check, check, check across multiple parties. It's just incredibly inefficient, and it's totally unnecessary. That's the interesting part. Once you use modern technology and modern systems, which already exist, by the way, none of that's necessary, because we don't need to talk about documents. It should be about data. Yeah. And of course, then you can actually remove.
So before, senior Commonwealth trade ministers will discuss trade, digital trade, and how to improve international access for businesses in 54 countries to a new global market. So this just isn't the G7. This is 54 countries working together to get this done.
The whole swathe of the process by just using data more efficiently between business and government.
So how optimistic are you that you're going to get an agreement this week?
I'm very optimistic. The Bangladesh government is our lead. I'm the co-lead with them from the business side, and they're making the proposal to trade ministers today at midday. We're confident that there's no dispute about digitalisation across trade ministers. It's just about being very clear what is the specific task to take us to the next step forward, and importantly, unlock business so that we can all play our full part in the process.
All right, Chris.
All right, Chris, get it done, my friend. And then also, too, let me show you this XDC Trade Financial Partnership Transformer on Xinfin XDC Masternodes. Transformer's ability to elegantly handle complex financial messaging scenarios in both proof of both empower and trace depth and understand the new standard SWIFT, right? And so here, let me show you this real quick.
Current standards are evolving, such as the SWIFT MT and the ISO format. And so these mappings will constantly needing to be changed. And either the graphical user interfaces that were on the market at the moment were quite cumbersome and slow, or you would have to do this in code, meaning that your development team would be writing XLT or Java. So we developed a software called Transformer.
Okay, so what they're talking about here, guys, is that all of these different countries might be on different systems, right? Like Apple and Mac and all these different programs that are on these things, right? Not everybody's on the same system. This is like ISO, right? ISO 20022. all these different messaging standards around the globe, bring everybody on the same standard, right? Same thing applies here, right? You're bringing everybody on all these different systems on the same system, or you're building tools that will allow people to use different systems, but then they can communicate with each other. And that's what they're talking about here.
It is a graphical user interface that allows business analysts or developers or testers to build and configure mappings from any format into any other format. So there is no coding or scripting required in the tool. And once you've built and tested these mappings within the tool, you can deploy that into any infrastructure, whether that's Linux, Unix, Windows, called by Java, Camel, C#. We are very agnostic to where that is being called. So this is perfect for a situation such as Xinfin and Trade Finance, where they require customers who want to come on board to this brand new, exciting initiative, but don't have the capabilities to basically have messages within JSON formats, or they have their own proprietary formats, but need to transform them into this standard that requires to go over the blockchain. And that is where Transformer is key. And
all right, let's keep it going here. And then also to Finastero integrates NGO's Trace original solution with Fusion Trade innovation to make paperless trade finance a reality. Finastero is also a Ripple partner, but also has an XDC partnerships. And the ITFA with Andre Casterman is the driving force here and what's pushing this all together. Let me just kind of show you this. It's a $19 trillion industry. That's what Xinfin's really trying to attack here. And they're being very successful. And this is Andre Casterman, okay? And he's a Casterman advisory team. And then he's helping all of this in the background, right? So you got NGO, you got Trade Tech, you have TradeStream, you have CargoX, leveraging Swift. Swift offers connectivity to exchange files and messaging, combining existing technologies of banks with new technologies. Let me show you this.
Having spent 24 years at Swift, I believe Swift has a role to play there as well, because Swift offers the connectivity to exchange files, and that is relevant in the bank-to-bank space. Indeed, TradeStream, ENIQ, and other players are leveraging Swift as well for this file transfer capability, and sometimes also for messaging, of course. So the trick here, maybe it's not a trick, but the recipe for success is to combine the existing technologies of banks, like back office vendors as well, with the new technologies. And the new technologies are very aware that they have to make sure they integrate into the existing environment of the bank, and that they should limit the cost and the impact on those existing systems. And that's how you get with TradeStream for document checking, ENIQ for digital originals, Trade Tech for distribution, and gradually more and more players are adding their own value proposition.
We're getting close here, guys. We're getting close here. The Commonwealth Secretariat has eliminated that trade digitalization could boost exports as much as 1.2 trillion in the coming years, guys. What do we have here? We have a huge use case and utility, and that's what you look for in these projects, right? You're looking for what is going to be used on a global scale, right? And this is what we're talking about, right? When it comes to trade finance, shipping different things, XDC is by far ahead in the leaderboard right now as far as building tools to help all of this come together. Remember, when you're looking at this and all these parties, right? All of these different parties have to be talking to each other. And that is what XDC is doing. They're building out a system that allows everybody to talk with each other, to allow goods to flow faster, not only improving maybe prices at the store for us, but also improving the overall health of the United States and the world, right? Because now you can send goods to and from and not have to worry about them sitting on a dock or expiring or whatever it is, right? You can move trade a lot faster. This will not only allow ships to maybe offer better prices, but also prices at the store, right? Because that's what impacts me and you. Anyways, guys, I'll stop rambling. If you learned anything or if you like the video, please feel free to share it with somebody. I love to just build up. We're pushing our way to 9,000 subscribers. I'd love to get there this month. I can only do it with your help. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.